What does healing mean to me? Healing for me is a practice of arriving at good enough. It's it's been a lifelong journey of seeking for answers, seeking for salvation, redemption, enlightenment, all of the big qualities that are such worthy pursuits for understanding, but can become a black hole with a seductive power to keep exiting the present moment as much as coming into the present moment. And that's really, I'd say, the journey through the last 15 years of my life has been starting from a place of seeking very, with a lot of drive initially in my 20s, and seriously considering a monastic path of really just devoting myself to study and practice, and coming to a place of reckoning with my assumption that I would have family and children and a home in the world, ultimately letting that go and then coming back full circle to getting married, having kids, having a home, and actually going to graduate school for counseling, being very immersed in that world, dialoguing around healing and the application of it, basically having healing be not just a personal path but a professional calling as well. And pretty quickly seeing those dead ends where I would meet people who it had a lot of understanding and had a lot of practice and a lot of experience in retreats and ceremonies and pilgrimage and really impressive spiritual resumes, and from the outside considering, like, is that a life that I want to pursue? And what pieces of it are appealing, and then how much does all of the therapy and healing work really show in the day-to-day of relating in the world, and being part of an economy and a community, and really coming to a place in the last few years, going through a divorce, and really finding where that shone a light for me on what healing really was at a tangible level, not just kind of a lofty thing to get to, but really being like, okay, to get through the day with the heartbreak of ending a marriage, having kids that I don't see as much as I used to, and being okay with that. It really came down to waking up each morning and choosing to embrace my life in each day as though it's good enough, and reaching, like, not becoming complacent, reaching for growth, reaching for developing in my capacity professionally, and then also as a father, as a partner, but not letting myself run away with some lofty kind of utopia of healing. So it's really come down to having meaningful relationships with a relative handful of people, being a loving father to my kids, being a loving partner to Aaron, and serving a relative handful of people through my work by being meaningfully engaged in their lives, really listening to what they're challenged by and what they're reaching for, and helping them fit those together. And then practically speaking, it comes down to time and connection with loved ones and friends, time in nature, and time in some kind of contemplative practice. And oftentimes for me, it's just sitting on a cushion. Aaron and I sit almost every morning together out here. And so being in nature, with a simple practice of just bringing attention back to the present moment. And, currently I'm not part of any, school of meditation or healing or anything. And it's about as stripped down as I've ever experienced it, which is its own teaching for me of, not even for myself, indulging in like, oh, I practice Tibetan Buddhism or I practice Zen or anything that has a little bit of a buzz to the affiliation. And I would say, in addition to arriving each day at good enough, it really turns into service naturally, without kind of an earlier iteration of like, oh, well, I need to serve in order to become enlightened or something. It's natural. It's like the things that have helped me show up for the people in my life that I care about, and to find more joy and appreciation and simplicity in life. There's just a natural impulse to share and to discover, to see how other people experience themselves differently when relationship gives them a framework to try something that they might have kept at arm's length until that point. For me personally, a place that I've felt initially wary but increasingly drawn to is stepping into working with men, working with fathers, especially going through divorce, because it's such a pivotal time, not only for the men themselves, but for their kids and for the mothers, for the partners that they're splitting up with. Because typically what I've seen and what I saw in myself, what a lot of men are healing is this impulse to shut down and to isolate in the very moments that are most impactful. The moments when, the marriage is ending, or, finances are on the line, jobs lost, that kind of thing, where men say, I can't possibly reach out to anyone or tell anyone what's going on because it's too ugly, it's too dire, I don't want to be a burden. And the punchline of it is that pretty much every other guy in their lives who is struggling is thinking the exact same thing to themselves. And so connecting the dots there and creating spaces where guys actually share more of what goes on behind the scenes, they end up in such a better position to raise their kids and to be in a parenting role in their community, whether it's their kids or other kids, to be supportive role models. And I've been so blessed to have really amazing role models and loved ones supporting me in my life. And, coming to the realization that I was not going to get through the hardest moments on my own, and to accept the love and the support and the encouragement that people offered me, and even to seek it out at times, really gave me so much, and it gave me the opportunity to see the people in my life in their strength and in their true wealth of what they have to offer. I think that's it.